Denzel Ward was in New York City, and a TMZ reporter found him, and it was a pretty entertaining interview between Denzel and the TMZ reporter. We got about a minute and a half to play you guys from that interview, and we'll react to what Denzel had to say. So here is Denzel talking to a TMZ reporter in New York City yesterday.
How are you, Mr. Ward? Okay, so a lot to talk about, right?
Yeah.
The Browns. A lot of people talking about this team and, your team, and there's a lot of negative and positive stuff, too. So we want to know, do you think that the team needs a good quarterback, or should they be rebuilding the entire, roster?
Yeah. I think we need a great quarterback for real. I mean, I think the NFL, that's what it starts with. Start with that quarterback position. And once you get that solidified, then the rest of the team go follow and go carry along. So I don't think we're too far off. We need to solidify that position, though.
Right. What about Geno Smith? There have been talks about him coming over. Do you think he could be the one?
He's solid. He's a solid quarterback. Until we actually get him in the building, get people in the building, I'm still rolling with my people we got there. But no, he's a good quarterback though, and he comes to the team. I would like that.
Right now, Gary Miles, right? He goes, listen, the team ain't that bad.
Yeah.
We're like right there,
Yeah.
almost there. Do you agree with that statement, or do you feel like there's like a lot more?
No, for sure. Like I said, I think we got a good team for real. But we got to solidify that quarterback position. You got a quarterback position, you see it's going to take you far.
So Garrett Miles, new player.
You know what? Bless Denzel's heart. He is like one of the nicest, kindest professional athletes that you'll ever meet. And that's a perfect example. He didn't correct her. He didn't embarrass her. He just answered the question. He knew what she was trying to say. That's often what you get when you have someone with no sports background whatsoever interviewing someone in the sports world. But kudos to him for not blowing her up when we all laughed the second we heard it.
Other than that part of it, though, Jay, what was your reaction to what Denzel had to say, especially about the quarterback position?
I think it marks a new low for Deshaun Watson because he has to see this and say, at 2, Brutus, like, you're my teammate. You're out there telling strangers on the streets that we need a new quarterback. Now, it's obvious to all of us.
He didn't say we need a new quarterback. He said we need to solidify the position.
He said we need a new quarterback. He didn't use those words, but you heard what he said.
Right, but
we don't currently have the quarterback that we need.
We don't. And
that's
the
Deshaun
guy
Watson.
that we thought we were supposed to have has 2 torn Achilles.
Yes.
So he's most likely never going to play in the league again. So I don't know that. Like, everyone wants to make this a shot at Deshaun Watson or something. I don't think that it is.
It's a backhanded shot.
I don't even think it is at all.
I mean, he's saying to a guy who thinks he's going to play for the Browns again, and you have to. By the way,
I don't think Deshaun thinks he's.
Well, here's the thing: when you're in that situation, you have to think I'm playing again. You have to.
I don't think so.
So you think that he's throwing his hands up and saying, I'm done, I'm not even going to rehab?
At this point, I think he knows it.
Wow. Then he's more of a quitter than I thought.
I don't think he's a quitter. I think the odds are stacked against him.
They are, but so what? They are against many athletes that come back.
There was a once upon a time, I'll give you a quick story. When I went to OU, I was like, people say, why would you go to a MAC school? I'm saying, listen, if I play for 4 years at a MAC school and I play well against the big name schools, I'll be great. There's Florida, there's all these other great teams on this school schedule, and I started as a freshman. So I said, I got 3 years to do this. I'm fast track. At the end of my freshman year, I get hurt against NC State. I tear one ACL. I had that surgery December 13th. I rehab it all year. I stay down there, do the offseason thing. I'm better than ever. This is great. 2 weeks before we play Pitt, I tear my other ACL. Now you have 2 ACL tears that you have before you were a sophomore. I missed my whole redshirt sophomore year.
Did you quit?
No. But here's what I did know. When I tore my ACL in practice, I cried like a kid.
Yeah.
And you know why I cried like a kid? Because it was over. Mm-hmm. The statistics say not only are you at a MAC school, not only have you torn 1 ACL, you've torn 2 ACLs. You can't pass a medical right now, and you got to learn how to walk. And I also knew that while I was sitting there rehabbing basically 2 knees in 8 months and trying to get back to playing, that everybody else was working, everybody else was doing plyos, everybody else was getting bigger, faster, stronger, got tape, and I'm sitting here trying to get back to ground zero when I was a freshman 2 years out the game.
All that, and you didn't quit.
I didn't quit, but reality is that you know what? And when you tear your Achilles heel like Deshaun Watson did, he cried the first time. That time was, I don't know if I could do it again, I'm disappointed, but I'm going to get back ready to go. You can amp yourself up once. But when you got to amp yourself up that second time.
I also don't think that it's quitting when you're injured.
Yeah, it's.
I don't.
It's your body.
There are guys that have come back from it. And as long as there are guys that have come back from it, it's not impossible.
But Jay, he knows those guys don't have the baggage I do. Those guys don't have the contract.
Yeah.
Those guys don't have 2 years of bad. He knows he's played bad.
I understand everything you guys are saying, but here's what I don't understand. It's okay for you to quit on me. It's okay for you to quit on me. It's okay for everybody else in the locker room to quit on me. It's not okay for me to quit on me. You can hear that. You know what that would do for me? Oh, you don't think I can do this? Let me show you. Let me show you. And to me, when you were going through, when you tore your second ACL, you probably, as you were walking through the weight room and you probably heard guys whispering, "Oh man, that's it for G. Bush." But they weren't telling reporters that's it for G. Bush.
I got to tell you, Jay, and I love you and I respect the hell out of you. If I had his contract and I tore my Achilles tendon.
Well, now that's part of it. No, the contract's part of it. And guess what? That's, again, where the Browns did themselves absolutely no favors by saying, yeah, guaranteed no matter what.
Sometimes, Dustin, to the point is, it's hard. I did that because, my mom and dad can't pay for school. I got to finish this out.
Right.
I need to get that paper. So you can't go nowhere. And that was the part of the game. But now, if you got $230 million or whatever the case may be, and I'm not saying he's a quitter.
Did you see him like in that little TikTok video? Like he could barely move. And I don't know if that was anything to do with his injury, but my point in saying that is
didn't we determine that was in March?
That was filmed in March before the Achilles. Yes.
Allegedly.
Well,
no, that was definitely filmed.
It was definitely filmed in March.
His girlfriend posted a picture with them in the exact same location, the exact same outfits on March 28th.
Okay, good.
And he couldn't.
I wasn't even trying to make the video thing. All I was trying to say, to make the point, was that Deshaun Watson has to worry about like walking and being mobile when he's 50.
He's already had 2 ACLs.
Right. It's not the guy doesn't have great lower extremity health.
Right.
Okay. So if I had $230 million and I didn't have a knee ligament here and I didn't have an Achilles here, shoulder. I would consider like quality of life as something that's more important than proving to Dustin Fox, Jay Crawford, and Garrett Bush that I'm a quitter or not a quitter.
Man, I can't imagine that though. I just can't.
And
the other reason is because where his reputation is right now is as bad as it can be. That personally and professionally.
Yeah.
He saw guys coming off the street doing things that he couldn't dream of doing at
Dustin
40 years old.
Remember I asked you this? I asked Tyvus and Dustin this a few weeks ago, and I said, listen, how many people have you played with that walked away from the game of football because it was on their own terms? Or
is Calvin Johnson a quitter? Is Barry Sanders a quitter?
The great equalizer is health, and to play at that level, some people like me get injured so much you ain't even qualify for it. But the majority of people the game is taken away from them by health and father time, and your body don't care nothing about that. Ligaments don't care about what your heart say. We know that from Nick Chubb. Like, it's just that. Is he going to rehab? Sure. Part of it is because, hey, to get that extra bag, I got to show up and be productive, and they're not going to play me. But to me, I think in my heart of hearts, when he tore that Achilles for the second time, and when I tore and I'm not comparing the two, but when I tore my Achilles my ACL the second time in 8 months, it wasn't that one of the guys in the locker room said, G. Bush is whispering it's done. It's even colder. It's almost like you don't exist.
Persona non grata.
Yeah. You walk through.
Yeah.
You're a ghost.
Sure.
You're not. Man. The coaches don't talk to you.
Worst year of my life was I was on IR my rookie year.
You're a ghost.
And I'm a rookie on IR, which meant I was the baby in the corner. And like people walked past me like I wasn't even there. I didn't even know people. I felt like a janitor.
Yeah, you feel dead because it's like to play football, you need your guys. You need them to get you through injuries, get you through the mental grind.
It's like your brothers. It's like family.
It's like you lost it's almost like they act like you're dead, like you died. They went to your funeral. The funeral was surgery, and then you come back, and then you don't even get some of the same sympathy.
It's like your girlfriend breaking up with you, but you all still share an apartment.
Try doing that one on a divorce for 2 months.
I feel you.
Just looking around. She telling you she want the coffee table. The coffee table is part of a set. What you talking about? I just told you I was gonna pay for these rings and jewelry. Now you don't want me to move out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's tricking, G. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry that got
I
brought
still
up.
can't help. I still can't help but go back to this. They're still teammates.
Yes, they are.
Like they're still teammates.
He loves them.
And to your point that you need your guys and you need their support. I know Denzel was being absolutely transparent and honest, and nothing he said was wrong. Nothing.
Yeah.
He spoke the truth. Mm-hmm. However, we know in sports.
By the way, Jay, maybe Deshaun's a bad teammate. Maybe guys don't like him.
Listen, there are some accounts that he is a bad teammate.
And listen, I've never met the guy.
That a cloud lifted when he got hurt and left.
I've never met the guy in my life. I don't know if he's a good guy, bad guy. I don't like what's alleged, but I've never been around him.
Sure. You don't know.
So, with that being said, though, like I've played with a lot of guys. Won national championship, by the way, with some guys right next to me that I couldn't care less about.
Mm-hmm. That always happens on every team. But you know what's surprising to me is, and again, I'm not faulting Denzel. Denzel was just being a courteous human being. He was asked a question. He thought, well, this is a TMZ. Like, I can say whatever
He also was just walking on the streets of New York City or wherever it's at.
Wasn't ready for that.
Probably the first. Dude, can you imagine walking down the street and someone's like, puts a camera in your face?
TMZ.
I bet it's the first time it's ever happened to him.
In that setting, you're probably right. But again, I think if he had to do it over again, because there is a code. You know what the code is. If you're going to put one of your teammates' names in your mouth, whatever comes out better be good, better be positive. Now, he never said Deshaun Watson's name. He didn't need to.
Sure, but he also could have said his name in a clip that's not on TMZ. I mean, he could have.
Possibly.
We didn't get the whole thing.
Possibly.
What do you guys think about this? I think this, because there's 2 or 3 things. I watched the show the other day, and you guys were talking about Nathan Zagura, right? And Nathan Zagura was talking about quarterbacks, I think. And, I think
Bull was on and Jay was not.
Yeah.
It was yesterday. We had
I don't
said,
remember.
Nathan Zagura said that he believes that Tommy Rees was hired to help shepherd in a new young quarterback.
I think
that's right.
I think on the inside, and I said it on Ultimate Browns. I kind of said, like, listen, I feel like they're going to go in the quarterback direction. Dustin talked about it yesterday. I think they've already talked to the top guys, the Batonios, the Denzel Wards, the Myles Garrett. I think they've been very transparent with them, because those guys are the guys that are playing at a high level and they want to play.
Right.
They're like, listen, if you guys want us to lead this locker room and lead people, we got to be able to go back and tell our troops something. I think that they've told those guys.
But don't you think step 1 of the plan was obvious? Everybody and their brother knows it.
Yeah.
People that don't follow football know what the plan is. It's not that guy.
Yeah. So
But to me, the convincing part to these veterans is what's part 2.
Yeah, I think the part 2.
We need a quarterback. That's obvious.
I think he openly talked about it because he's comfortable. They've openly talked about it in the locker room.
Yeah.
They've already said the brass is coming out unofficially. Listen, guys, we plan on going in a different direction at quarterback. We know that. And I think they have to have that level of transparency with him, because Stefanski, to me, lost the locker room a little bit. The 3 wins that they got, those 3 wins, that was alarming to me, because I felt like Stefanski had enough. I saw what he did the year before. I always felt like he gets guys to play hard. And this season was an outlier, because 3 wins means people checked out. People was like, I'm going to put that on tape. So my thing is, he had to go to those guys and say, look, this is the plan. It's transparent. I know you guys are disappointed just the way we are. We're going to change some things a little bit here. And I think that's why he was comfortable in saying it. And I think Deshaun Watson, for whatever it's worth, I think they've already told him.
Told him what? You're done?
We're moving in a different direction. You're gonna get paid.
Yeah.
We're gonna figure out the way
we have to manipulate the roster and all that.
But we are, just a courtesy to you. We would like, as a human, we want you to worry about your rehab, get back ready. If you need anything that we need to get you ready for your next stint, wherever you are, we will do whatever we can to make sure you're ready physically to do that.
It's not part of the plan.
But you're not part of the plans moving forward.
Yeah.
And I've had people say that to me out of respect. When we go back to OU, there was a guy who was in front of me. He was a freshman. I was a senior. I had just got hurt again on my patella tendon. He said, listen, man, concentrate on,
just get well.
Get well. Do your surgeries. My senior year. Get well. We're not even going to pay you. I'm just be honest with you. We're not going to pay you. You need to get healthy, because we got to get this guy ready. He's gonna need to play football.
He's the future.
He's the future, and you're a great guy. We want you to do whatever you can if it even involves practicing, we don't need you to just be there, but we want you to get him ready.
Do you think that the 175 million, whatever the number is that they still owe him, do you think that might change the way they deal with all of this? Because this could get contentious. If they allege that he did this doing something he wasn't supposed to do, it's going to get real contentious.
I think the Cleveland Browns behind closed doors have told Deshaun Watson, we paying you regardless.
I think the Browns need to just let this thing
let
go.
Let it play out. Pay him whatever you owe him, and
swallow that pill.
Because you need him to play nice. You need him to restructure these deals because he could say, no, I want this deal, and I'm going to hammer you on the cap or whatever the case may be. But
he has, by the way, been the good soldier when it comes to doing that so far.
I would be too.
And
he's going to get his money one way or another. It doesn't matter.
And he hasn't spoken. You ain't heard from him. When all this stuff goes, he's not saying anything, right? And I think that's why I think both sides have come to the conclusion there's no vitriol left.
Just move on and let's go.
Yep.
All right.